Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw, and I'm here with Mary Beth Lynn of Your Vacation Plan, I believe, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And Mary Beth actually is part of Curators, Journese's Curators. We're out here actually at the Maui Westin on a special trip just for the Curators. And we're going to talk to Mary Beth about how she works with Journese, how she became a curator, and she's a new curator, so it's going to be good to hear from her about that. You're going to find out about that and more on Insider Travel Report. Mary Beth, it's great to meet you here. It's been a wonderful trip so far, I would think, right?
Yes.
Did you go snorkeling yesterday?
I did not. I did the submarine experience, which was really fun. So we went all the way 130 feet down, and they even landed the submarine on the bottom. We got to see all kinds of things. It was awesome.
And we've also gotten to see a lot of different hotels here while we're done, and we got a few more to go, I think, right?
Yes, that's correct. We did the Sheraton last night. That was amazing. Today we're doing the Ritz, and I think another property as well.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting, and we'll get to see a little bit of Maui. Maui is beautiful right now. Now let's talk a little bit about how long have you been a travel advisor, and what kind of have you been specializing in?
So I have owned my business for the last 4.5 years. I specialize in honeymoons and destination weddings predominantly. We do have clients that are doing other things, but the majority of our clients are traveling for those reasons. And it's been a really awesome experience. Definitely, obviously, we all know 2020, 2021 were very bumpy with COVID, but it also wasn't near as bad as it could have been because I had great partners like Journese, and that made a huge difference for myself and my clients' overall experience.
Yeah, indeed. Why did you decide to shift a lot of your business over to Journese for your honeymoon business?
So in 2020, before that, I had clients that were booked, with lots of different suppliers. A lot of my clients are traveling to Mexico, the Caribbean, something like that, and so would use lots of other companies. And I really was booking them more based on, who had the best rates or those types of things. And in 2020, we all saw that some suppliers did a much better job supporting the agents and the clients that were traveling than others. Not that everyone wasn't trying to, but just their systems weren't necessarily always there to support us. And in the first 2 months, I realized that Journese was supporting agents better than anyone else I had dealt with. And I also had a conversation with a colleague that had a lot more years of experience, over 25 years. And the colleague made the comment to me of, the best thing you can do for your business is you pick a few and you build those relationships and those partnerships, and that's what carries you through the good and the bad, because that relationship is so invaluable. And so I stopped and I thought, and I was like, okay, well, who do I want my main relationship for, the Caribbean and Mexico and honeymoons and destination weddings to be with? And I thought about who had been a really great support so far through the pandemic, who had been dealing with it well. And I was like, oh, this is easy. I'm going to focus on sending my clients through Journeses because there is that support, there is that relationship. And so I started moving things over in 2020, and I actually had clients where they didn't have anything in penalty or would not have any fees if they were to make changes, and I would present them with the option of, hey, you're not traveling for 8 months, but if you want to, we can cancel this, we can move you over, and we can put you with a supplier that I know is going to have better support for you if the pandemic impacts your trip. And they also were the absolute best when it came to a cancel for any reason coverage through a supplier during the pandemic. That was huge for clients because some of my clients, they lost their wedding or some big event that they were supposed to have in their lives, and the honeymoon was the one thing that they felt like they could still do. Because they were like, we're staying in.
Did you have many cancellations during the pandemic?
I actually only lost either 3 or 4 bookings. Everyone else either rescheduled or continued traveling based on when their dates were. And
so because of switching over that business, you're here as one of the curators, meaning you're one of the top sellers of Journese.
Yes. So after the first, in 2020, as I started switching things over, I had a couple conversations with Amy, and
it's Amy Tirada, Amy Comparato, I should say, because I know there are 2 Amy's at Pleasant Holidays in Journese, and Amy Comparato is one. We're going to be talking to her later.
Yeah, so I had a conversation with her, and I had a conversation with Carlos Banks, my BDM, and kind of just said, look, I want to send my business to you guys. I want to have this be a really important partnership, and not only for me, but also for my sub-agents. I want them to be able to know that you guys have our back and that we have yours. We want to give you the business so that you have the sale, but we need it to be a great partnership for everyone. And so as I was moving everything over and all my new sales were going through there, I got invited in 2020. They did a special like fam type experience, but it was people that were like close to curator level to Cabo. And I went and I met some of the other agents that are curators and had been for years. And we were hanging out at the pool one day and I just said, I was like, I have to make curators next time. Like,
you did?
Yes, I did. So they gave me a few pointers on like what I needed to do, and then I worked really hard to get here, and it's been totally worth it. But not because of the experience. It's been worth it because the relationship I have with Journese, I would not trade for anything. I don't care if it takes me a little bit longer to book a group because they don't have a system that someone else has, because I know that if something goes wrong, they're going to be there for me.
Absolutely. That's great. Now, what specific kind of programs and products have you focused on selling and they've helped you with?
So I sell a lot of Playa Resorts, definitely some Charisma, they've really helped me grow my Hawaii sales.
Which is good because we're here now.
Yeah, exactly. It is. It's great to see it in person because I was supposed to go to Hawaii in 2020 and we were going to do a bunch of site inspections and all that, but obviously it was canceled due to the pandemic. And so they were huge in helping me be comfortable with Hawaii because obviously they're the experts on Hawaii, have been for forever. And my destination specialist I work with, Katie, is amazing. And so I would literally take insane notes of all my Hawaii consultations. And then I go, Katie, here's the notes. Give me what you think would be potentially good. And she'd walk me through it and we'd have phone calls and talk about, okay, this property is like this. What do you think? And so it was so helpful because really I learned so much about Hawaii just through working with their specialists because they are so well trained. And the fact that you get to have a designated person that works with you makes all the difference. Absolutely. In that.
Well, indeed. And now you're here. You're getting to see Hawaii for yourself for the first time. And what do you think?
Love it. Definitely coming back. The helicopter experience in Kauai, we did that before we came here. And by far one of the coolest things I've ever done.
Yeah, you said you were selling Mexico, some other resorts for them, Hawaii now. Do you think now you're going to sell some other destinations that Journese offers?
Definitely. I think the biggest thing is looking at it from the perspective of the relationship side of things. So I love that I have a relationship where if something happens, I can call Amy or I can talk to a specific specialist. I know that some of them specialize maybe more in Tahiti than someone else. And so knowing that I have a team that really knows their product and their destination, and even if my person isn't the expert on that, then there's someone else I can talk to. It really is awesome in terms of expanding to other products, other destinations when clients want that, especially now that the world's much more open, right? They just expanded, Journeys did their offerings for Europe extensively, Greece as well. And so those are definitely places where I go, okay, I definitely would love to make it work for my clients to be able to travel with them because I know there's all that support I can give them. They have the best cancellation for any reason policy out there. So many things that make it a great option for clients when they're traveling.
That's great. Now, anything else you want to tell your fellow advisors about your experience with Journese so far?
I think just that the most important thing is picking your partners because that will make all the difference in the world. And two, that I really appreciate the fact that I was talking with one of their team here, Bianca, and as we were talking, we talked about the fact that their goal in the pandemic was, well, what seems right and fair, because there were so many rules that everyone had to come up with because we had never seen things like that before. And so they always tried to make sure it was very fair for the agent, for the client, for everyone involved. And they did such a good job with that. And they also, if there was a situation where it felt like that rule wasn't quite fair, they were even willing to have conversations with us. It didn't mean that we got exactly what we wanted or our client wanted, but they at least heard us out and talked with us and explained the reasoning and all of those things. And so I think the fact that they're so for the travel advisor, but also they're so for the relationship. And to me, that's crucial. During the pandemic, after I got most of my business moved over, and after the first 2 or 3 months of COVID, so by June of 2020, I never waited on hold. because everything that was with Journeys, I have a destination specialist that I would email and she would take care of it. And so that was huge for me because I had colleagues that would be on hold for 5 hours on one booking, and I would just send Katie an email and be like, okay, I need this done. What's the cancellation policy for this? What's this? So that I could then go back to the client quickly and say, hey, if you're not comfortable traveling, these are our options. Here's the 3 ways we can move forward. And it was so helpful because it was such a, she knew me, I knew her. She knew that I wasn't asking a stupid question because I didn't know something. She knew I was really just trying to protect the client and keep the business for myself and for Journeys at the same time.
Well, and you did keep the business. That's great. Well, Mary Beth, thank you so much for talking with us about Journese. And it's great to be here with you on a beautiful day in Maui. And we got a couple more days left. And I guess, I don't know if you're going to stay on a bit more, but not.
I'm not, unfortunately, but we've been here for a week. So
well, okay. All right. But I'm sure you'll be back.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much.
I am James Schillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.